Welcome everybody, or welcome Cecil. I think that's
Cecil.
Cecil's on. Hi Cecil, how you doing? Yes, so at the moment, a quiet one. I'm sure we'll have lots of others join us soon. But I'm here with my colleague Red, as
doing?
ever, the smiling face, and we wanted to kind of revisit a few things. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Red, and I'm going to drop it and let him carry on.
Fantastic. How you doing, Andy? Always like coming to see you guys on a Tuesday. Let me try and find my notes. Today on my live, I've decided this week I'm going to do a bit of revisiting Ashmi Farah on some of his webinars and what he's been saying. Why is always a good question. The reason why I'm doing that is because not only is it always good to hear from our CEO, whether it's on a recording or whether it is live, but more importantly, when you listen to something and you pause it in blocks, you get more of a chance then to what's the word I'm looking for? Evaluate. That's the word. Evaluate what has been said within that context. Our CEO is notorious for talking around subjects rather than being head on. There's a lot of the reasons he does this is because he's not allowed to say things for various reasons. And a lot of people think that he talks in a lot of code rather than just coming straight out with it, being blunt and letting us all know what's going on. That's his way, that's his mannerisms, and that's what he's always done. So what I've decided to do this week is to revisit a lot of what has been said and show a little clip, and then we will talk about it. Now, I have personally listened to the Friday surprise visit that was a couple of weeks or so ago now on Marty and Chris's show, and I can tell you this now, every single time I've listened to it, and I'm on number 6 now, I've found something else in it that I didn't hear or didn't take in the other times. So 6 times I've listened to it, and 6 times something else has popped out that I missed the time before. I'm doing this because it helps us. It helps us understand the man more. It helps us to evaluate him more. It helps us to stay positive, strong. It helps us to stay the course, obviously. But more importantly, it enables us to have a better understanding of what was said. And that's why I did it. I did it today. Now, if you haven't seen it, you can go onto my channel. It's there. I did a Hindi text one as well. He's obviously a very forward thinking man. And even with all of this adversity that he's had around him over the last couple of years, he's always maintained his positivity for moving forward. And what I loved about today's part of what I listened to and I shared with everyone out there was that even though he's admitted his mistakes, that he's near enough said that he's had to start again from pretty much scratch, he's always known that he's got the base to do it from. He's always known that he's got the products and the services. And he was saying in the snippet that I was listening to, that base is solid, that the people involved in it are really the right kinds of people that he wants. And he was saying as well that why is OnPassive still going to be a very important business moving forward? Because he knows that people who've been trying to tear him down wouldn't have gone through this trouble to do it unless there was something there within the business that they didn't like. we've talked on various occasions, haven't we, about how people will only attack something that they feel threatened by. And all these people from within, externally, within the foundership or wherever it may be, that have attacked the company and our CEO have done it because they're literally threatened or scared because of what they feel is coming, or feel they might think is coming through OnPassive. They like their gravy train and they like it to be running and earning. That's pretty much why people protect what they have or try and derail something new that is coming, because if they don't, then they lose their gravy train. One of the things that he was talking about was that we're almost at the stage now, he said, and I really did pick up on this, that there's going to be no code talking anymore. There's not going to be any beating around the bush. There's going to be, this is what's happened. He'll tell us all the nitty gritties. Now let's go into our next stage. This is what you need to do. 1, 2, 3, in whatever order and how it all works. And then we move into the next phase of OnPassive. There's going to be no guessing. It's going to be very straightforward. We're going to have the right information to go. Now, that for me was, again, a very important thing that he brought up. Why? Because he wouldn't be saying that a couple of weeks ago if we weren't getting closer to that part. It doesn't make sense, does it? That why come in and say those things if we're not more closer towards it than further away? You wouldn't say it. So again, that was something else I picked up on that I thought was very poignant, very productive, and certainly in the right direction. He said he can see a lot more than we can see, obviously, because he has the full script in front of him. And he acknowledges that we are here because of our faith and belief in the company and what he's trying to do. But he says, because I can see it, I know where we're going because I've got the full picture. He also said that he's not looking backwards with what had gone on. He's looking forward. And he said that future, that looking forward, is far bigger and better than any of us believe it can be through OnPassive. Again, huge positives. And the last thing I'm going to finish with, and we'll probably talk a bit more about all of this, is why OnPassive? Why are we going to be groundbreaking? Why are we going to be something that is going to be really different to everybody else? For a start, he did say that they are refurbing, revamping, whichever you want to call it, everything that we know about OnPassive. So the products and the services that we already know about, they're all getting a makeover. They're all getting a fit out, an upgrade, whatever you want to call it. But more importantly, the people who are going to come to OnPassive are going to be users. They're going to be people who want to use our products and services because they give better value than other places. There's going to be people who use OnPassive because they want to make money, the affiliate side of what OnPassive is. There's going to be businesses that use our products and services because it's easier to have a single sign-in where people can access stuff and all the rest of it, plus many other reasons. But the main reason is there's no cap on anything that they do. Everything is unlimited. That means that there is no paying extra for extra storage or paying extra for extra this. Everything is unlimited, and that includes your earning capabilities within OnPassive. Sky really is your limit as far as how far you want to take it. And I've said it from day one. One of the things that I joined OnPassive for back in 2018 is because it's a product-based business that is going to sell those products. I can make a commission. But more importantly, we are going to be a customer-based business. We're going to have a far larger percentage of users, excuse me, within the business than we are affiliates. That's good news, by the way, for every single person who is an affiliate that wants to sell the products and services. Why? Because it's the users that we will be tapping into to make our commissions. So you're probably thinking, well, why aren't the users going to use OnPassive to make money? Look at your daily lives now with what you do online. How many products and services, how many apps, how many everything you do online do you use, whether they're free or whether you pay for them? How many of those are you making money from? Well, I can tell you, probably 1% of them, if you're lucky, that you're making any income from at all, from an affiliate-based program. People, including you, including me, stuff I use online right now, I use it because it helps me do my thing online. Whether that is rendering a video, whether that is making banners, whether that is chatting to people, whatever it is, sending emails, whatever, marketing, anything like that, I have to use a product or a service to utilize so that I can do what I want to do. That is going to be the mainstay of what OnPassive is. People are going to come to it because we give better value, better service in one place than our competition, if you want to call it that, and it's all unlimited. That's why they're going to use us, and that's why it's going to be such good news for us, because we're going to have that customer base that are going to use it month in, month out, which gives us then that residual income that everyone who is an affiliate is looking for. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Red. Thanks, Red. Excuse me. There are some points that you've made today that I'd like to kind of draw upon. One of the things that struck me, I've been reading a book by Napoleon Hill, which is quite interesting, and it talks about Dale Carnegie back in the 30s, who was the richest man in America at one point, and his persistence, his tenaciousness, his continuity won the day. You know, it's the old phrase that Ford came out with. You know, if you believe that you can, if you believe you can't, you won't. If you believe you can, you will. And one of the things that's always struck me about Mr. Mufara is the fact that he doesn't and won't give up. Yes, we've got outside influences, and quite rightly so, by the way, because you know we've OnPassive, Ash and his team have created, and you mentioned this, value for money. Now, if you think about it, there are so many companies out there that are not interested in value for money. They're interested in taking your dollar. This is the change to the norm. And I'm going to give you an example because I think it's important to do so. So we know the other video conferencing platform that's out there, the big one that everybody uses, they charge $6,500 a month for 10,000 attendees. When we started ours, when Ash launched it first time round, at that time it was $125 for 10,000 attendees. Now, if I was one of the customers for the other company, the first thing I would do is go back to that company and say, hold on a second, why have you been charging me $6,500 a month when this company are doing it for $125? It's going to make some very angry customers. You know, we realize that the products are more than likely, as you've mentioned again, Red, to be absolutely switched over. You know, let's look at it from what it was previously. We had a social media platform. Everyone kind of looked at it and went, really? It's bound to have been revamped. you'll probably agree with me. At the end of the day, it was a great idea. It's lovely. It's good because you have to prove who you are. You can't have a fake account and all of this. But the problem was it was not user friendly at the time, and no doubt that Ash and his team will revamp that, because it's important that we have that as part of our single sign-on scenario. But there are some theoretical bits and pieces that we don't understand, the pressures from outside, the pressures from the inside. The most important part for me is the fact that this gentleman in our CEO will not under any circumstances give up, and it brings me back to Dale Carnegie, who was the richest man in the world. He was worth well over 500 million back in the 30s. Now today, God knows what that's worth. But this is an important aspect. If you follow somebody who has that attitude, who has that tenaciousness, you cannot fail, because we're dragged along as Napoleon Hill was by Dale Carnegie. So I think it's wonderful what's happening, and I can't wait for it to relaunch. But Red, anything else that you want to add?
No, you mentioned about other companies, and obviously the one that you were mentioning there. By the way, if you want to have a good read their how they started and almost went bust halfway through, and had to have a very large helping injection hand of finances, and obviously the pandemic really made them in the end. That was their that was the icing on the cake for this company. When you look at OnPassive and you look at other companies and other businesses and all the rest of it, they've all had ample time to have a good look at us, haven't they? They've had their nose in our trough for a very long time as we've been building it. And you have to ask yourself the question, why aren't they doing the same as what we're doing? The concept, we all know about the OnPassive concept, how it all works. It makes so much sense. It is amazing in its simplicity of how it all works. So you ask your question, why isn't another company doing the same? And the answer is because there's no money in it for them, right? All other businesses look at business in only one shade, and that is, how much money can I make by doing this? Is it good for my shareholders? Is it good for the business? Are we going to spend all this time, all this energy, all this money designing something similar to what OnPassive is doing? And are we going to be in a position where we're going to make a lot of money for ourselves and our shareholders? And guess what they come back with? No, it's not worth the time, effort, and money investing in it, because we're not going to get the return. Along comes our CEO, Ash Mufareh, who said, by the way, in the clip that I was showing today, I'm not in it for myself. I'm not looking to make money out of OnPassive. So why is he doing it? For us. That's why he's doing it. He's doing it for primarily us, but more importantly, for everybody else, for the world, humanity, all for us to have a level playing field where we can make money if you want to make money, use services and products at the right price if we want to. That is why it's been designed. But because he's not in the marketplace for his own gain, how much money it's going to make doesn't come into the equation. That's not his thought process. His thought process is he wants to design something that he is going to be remembered for that difference that it's going to make. That's his drive. That's his goal, to see us all succeed. Now, when you have that, or have a person who is wanting to do that, then the monetary side of things doesn't matter. But here is the kicker. We talked about this the other day on here, actually, with Andy, when we were talking about data. Having a large marketplace of people, our community that we've already got now, the amount of customers we're going to have, and all the rest of it, all in one place, all verified, so they're real people, that is worth an absolute fortune to companies. They will want to try and sell their products and services within our ecosystem. We're going to have the way that people do business completely turned upside down. We are doing something for ourselves to design something so that we all benefit, the customers all benefit. But guess what's going to happen on the other side of all of that happening? Companies are going to go, well, hang on a minute. There's 10 million people there, all verified, all proper people that I can market my goods and services and products to within the ecosystem. How do I get in there? They contact OnPassive. OnPassive charge them to advertise within our ecosystem. Guess what happens then? Money starts coming into the business of OnPassive, which then they can utilize to make OnPassive even better. So the theory behind how to make your business profitable has completely been turned turtle. It's not been done right from the offset because of the financial gain that is going to be there. It's been done for the benefit of the users, affiliates, founders within the company, so that they've got a safe environment that they can use products and services a lot cheaper than somewhere else. And if you want to, you can utilize it to make some money as well. Then on the other side, companies are going to want to come in to advertise, to use us because of our data, people that we have within it. And then they will be paying the company for allowing them to sell their products and services within that ecosystem. It's a win-win-win. But the problem is people can't see it like that. Companies don't want to wait that period of time. Could you imagine any other company waiting 6 years just to get going? It wouldn't happen, because they'd have shareholders demanding this, that, and the other. They'd have corporate rebellions within the directorship. All sorts of things would be going on, and it wouldn't be able to happen. This is why we are unique. This is why we are very lucky to have someone like our CEO, Ashman Farah, in charge of us. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks. You're the point you made that, you know, we are groundbreaking, we are different. Compare, if you will, a company that has shareholders. They are beholden to those shareholders. The company is therefore looking for pure profit from the point of view that those shareholders have to get their money's worth. We never have shareholders. It's a private company. And therefore, we're not even going to bother looking at that scenario. So it doesn't matter. We have no interest in you know, making a profit for shareholders. All of these larger companies, and you mentioned one of the big ones that really came into its own because of the pandemic. It would be wonderful to find out exactly where they would have got if the pandemic hadn't been orchestrated in the way it was. But interestingly enough, we've already seen some of the additional add-ons that we had within OCONNECT appear. Funny that. Yeah, oh look, I've seen that one before. It's quite amusing. But as I said, the importance here is the fact that we are a private company. We are not beholden to shareholders. We don't have to listen to what they have to say to the board. We don't have to try and provide them with a a dividend each year, because that's not what we're there for. Everybody, we're in a capitalist system, but there are limitations to that capitalist system. And when you think about it, that capitalist system can go too far, and this is a break from that norm. If you look at the likes of BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, for instance, they own pretty much 95% of all companies within the indices. The Nasdaq, etc. And you go, hold on a minute, that's not capitalism anymore. That's a monopoly. We are totally and utterly different. And as you mentioned, this is groundbreaking, because we are totally different. We are not like any other company. And this is why I think we're going to win, and we're going to see some huge returns. Now, I can't wait. All of these products, if you think about this very carefully, everything he's done, and he mentioned this on live with Marty and Chris the other day, or something I picked up on, was everything is different. Everything has been obviously been revamped, been changed around, been tweaked, been played with, etc. So I'm very excited by that prospect, and I can't wait for it. So, anything else you'd like to say before we finish, Red?
No, I think it's just important, guys, really, that if you are having a bad day, I think is the nicest way of putting it, or a bit of a wobble, go and listen to Ash again. You will get so much out of it. It will give you the lift that you need. It will certainly help you stay the course, to stay on track. What I just can't understand why people waste so much of their time being in OnPassive and then just walk away from it. It doesn't make sense to me. I really believe that every single person who joined OnPassive deserves to see it through to its final conclusion. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm as confident now as I ever have been with what is going to happen. He said that we're going to be amazed with what we see. I don't doubt him at all. Even when things weren't working fantastically, I was amazed. Being on Burj Khalifa, I was amazed. Having our own metro station, I was amazed. Being in 4 different countries that I knew of, I was amazed. And we hadn't even launched at that point. All of these things, I was amazed. And when we saw OCONNECT, blew me away. And like Andy said, we're going to get a whole new box of toys from our CEO when we launch into phase 2. Are they going to have the same name? Yeah, probably. Are they going to be a different toy? They're going to be kind of the same, but man, are they going to have a big upgrade on them? That's what I'm looking forward to. Same as Andy is, because it's going to blow us away. And if it blows us away, just imagine having or being in a scenario where you see it for the first time. We've had sneak previews. We've seen a little bit of it, haven't we? Can you imagine being that person who clicks on it for the first time? And instead of seeing what we're seeing right now, you've got bells, whistles, better quality, all sorts of things that you just don't see. And it's all designed for the best user experience. And just as before I finish, I totally agree with what Andy was saying from earlier about the product that we had as our social media, not social media, our social platform for chatting. People didn't utilize it because it wasn't user friendly. OCONNECT, however, very, very, very user friendly. And that is what gives me the goosebumps to know that everything else that's going to be revamped is going to be along those lines. What can we do to make this the best user experience? That is how our products are going to be designed, for the user in mind, 100%. And that is going to be awesome. I think people have had their fill of the current social media outlets that are out there. Really is time for a bit of a change, and I think we'll be well positioned to give people that change. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Red. Thanks, and thank you all for joining us today. I hope we try to keep it to a minimum. As I said, we will be back again, hopefully next Tuesday, subject to hours. I will do my best, but don't forget Red's Lives and obviously Heroes on Sunday. This will be put up on my YouTube channel, so please do feel free to share it with others if you wish to. Thanks ever so much, and we'll see you again next Tuesday.